What we were thinking about the crowds was planting some troublemakers.
You know, the only problem with because we thought about that. My only fear would be is if there was a ruckus caused, is that would scare the public into thinking maybe the governor's got to settle to avoid all these problems.
That was Governor Scott Walker talking to a man he thought was billionaire campaign donor David Koch. And those 4 words, we thought about it, have the governor in some hot water with a lot of folks. Walker took a hard line in defending himself yesterday, claiming anything he says in private, he would say in public. Well, he doubled down on that defense last night on Fox News.
The prankster there tried to insinuate at least that this person was going to push for people to come in and cause a disturbance amongst the protesters. I made it very clear that's not right. That doesn't work. That adds no value.
Well, you said you thought about it.
The protesters have not overwhelmed them. They realize they've come in from other states.
But you thought about it.
We did. We had people contact. I even had lawmakers and others suggesting riling things up.
Okay, hold it right there. Can we get these lawmakers on the air? Who are these lawmakers? The Madison police chief is disturbed by that defense. Chief Noble Ray wants to know why the governor thought about putting troublemakers in the Madison crowds. In a public statement, Chief Ray said, quote, I would like to hear more of an explanation from Governor Walker as to what exactly was being considered and to what degree it was discussed by his cabinet members. Amen, Police Chief. I find it very unsettling and troubling that anyone would consider creating safety risks for our citizens and law enforcement officers. Yeah. Joining me tonight from Madison is another city official who is bothered by what he heard on those tapes. Doug Chaslovich, he is the mayor of Madison, Wisconsin. Dave, good to have you with us tonight. I appreciate your time. What is your response to the governor saying that he thought about it?
Well, let me tell you something. I've been mayor of Madison for 8 years now, and I've never been more proud of my community. You know, we had probably 500,000 people through this square in the last 10 days, 70,000, 80,000 on Saturday, and not a single arrest during that entire period. I was in the Capitol last night. They cleared out the rotunda so that people could sweep and mop and keep the place clean. The folks who take care of the Capitol concourse tell me it's the cleanest it's ever been.
So with all
really
of that, so with that, a good depiction of the crowd, a good description. I was there. You're spot on with all of that. Yet the governor was thinking about sending troublemakers to cause a ruckus into that crowd. What's your response to that?
Well, I'm appalled by it. I think it's very disturbing for the governor of the state of Wisconsin to suggest that perhaps they should be disrupting peaceful protests. That's not what Wisconsin's about. I think we're showing the nation and the world how to engage in civil discussion of meaningful issues, and to do it in a way that's loud, that's enthusiastic, but that's also civil and appropriate and peaceful. And we've got the governor of our state suggesting that perhaps those civil protests ought to be disrupted. I think that's very disturbing.
Now, Mayor Chaslovich, with us tonight from Madison, Wisconsin, have you had any conversations with Governor Walker about security? Have you had any conversations about the demeanor of the crowds or the protests? Because there were upwards of 70,000 people that were in your city last weekend.
I have. I've had conversations with the chief of staff.
No, I mean the governor. I mean the governor. I want to know. You have not had a conversation with the governor?
Not the governor directly. I have talked to his chief of staff.
Okay, but the governor's got it covered. You know, I mean, I find it very strange that a mayor of a city where the capital is, where the legislative decisions are made, that the governor of the state would not have a conversation with the mayor and maybe ask you if you got everything you need. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, we've been doing pretty well on our own here. Chief Noble Ray's been doing a terrific job. Our Madison police officers have been doing a great job, and the protesters themselves have been doing a great job of organizing themselves. And so I couldn't be more proud of how everyone here has conducted themselves. It's really been a great story for Wisconsin. And, you know, it's just unfortunate that the governor seems to have a different point of view about what Wisconsin's about.
Well, I find it amazing that the governor hasn't taken the time to talk to you, seeing that you're the mayor of the city, but he's thrown that off on his chief of staff, I guess. As the mayor of Madison, have you had any concerns whatsoever since the start of all of this?
You know, from time to time, we had a counter protest here on Saturday, Tea Party protest, but there were only 2,000 or 3,000 people, probably 70,000 people on the other side. And again, you know, it was very spirited. People have high emotions, and yet not a single incident, not a single arrest. And that's thanks to not only our police officers who did a great job, but folks on both sides of the issue. You know, they're having a spirited debate.
And Mayor, on the heels of the governor's comment that he thought about it, does this story end, or do you think that the State Board of Ethics that you have, which is an independent body in Wisconsin, should they look into this?
They definitely should look into this, and the governor's got to answer questions about what he meant. Those 4 words, we thought about it. We've got to know what he meant by that. Were there meetings inside the governor's office? Did they seriously suggest hiring people to come disrupt the crowd? To what extent did he think about it? Those words are very, very significant. And this story should not end. We need to know a lot more about what the governor meant by those 4 words.
And he also threw it off on other legislators. Do you think those legislators have an obligation to come forward to the residents of Wisconsin and clear this up? I mean, I'd like some names. How about you?
I would like some names as well. You bet. Whoever suggested that people should be hired to disrupt a peaceful protest, those folks should come forward and be held accountable for those suggestions.
Mayor Dave Chaslovich, you got a wonderful town there. I'm going to get back there. I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.